it's Channon Rose, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a story time about how I got caught having sex at school. So this was in high school. I don't even remember exactly what grade I was in because I had been kicked out of so many schools and put into so many like special schools. And I ended up in this school called North Hills Prep. And you can look it up online, like Google it. It's actually still a school today. And it was in Van Nuys. I think they changed the name to like Help Group North Hills Prep. But they try to like put it off as like a preparatory school, but really it's like a school for special education kids. And by special education, I don't mean the kind that you're probably thinking. I mean more like emotional behavioral problems. And I was put into these schools after I got kicked out of LAUSD, which is the Los Angeles Unified School District. And not saying that proud, but like I got kicked out of the school district for LA, and that's where I lived. So I couldn't really go back to a public school even if I wanted to. And I'm pretty sure I have a story time on how I got kicked out. And I know that for sure it's in my book. So if you haven't read that, I'll link it down below, The Story of Channon Rose. So I had gone to this school, and I just want to let you guys know that during this time period at the school, I was doing drugs. I did a lot of drugs, mainly in high school. I stopped doing them after high school because I had overdosed too many times and I was just not doing good, and I had been sent away to boarding school and all these different things. But when I was in this North Hills Prep school, these schools are really small. There's not that many kids. They really like to do like one-on-one basically, and so there's like, I don't know, like 6 kids in a class. And this school at the time that I was going there was like a school that like all the kids from like regular school that got kicked out for like doing drugs or like having emotional problems, like, you know, a lot of mental illnesses and things that they wouldn't be able to like function in a regular school. They basically put like all the bad kids or kids that were having trouble in one school. And I always say that's like the worst thing that you could do, because for me it just made it worse. Like I was doing drugs, but I wasn't doing drugs as much as some of these other kids were doing at our school. And it was kind of just like, believe it or not, these kids were like a really bad influence on me. Like I ended up doing a lot more drugs like at school. We got away with like a lot of things at this school. So I ended up doing more drugs, and then I met this guy that was going to this school. I'm not gonna say his name because if anyone they would know, because it's such a small school, people would know. So I started dating this guy. Let's call him Klein. So I started dating this guy Klein. I don't know, something just like attracted me to him because he was like the most popular kid at school. He was like the class clown, and he just was like very confident, and I just was attracted to that. He was definitely not the most attractive guy I dated. There weren't very many options at this school for me to choose from. So he was like as good as I was gonna get at this school, and we actually got along really well, and I really liked him, and we did a lot of drugs together at school. Actually, oh my gosh, this school, you guys are not gonna believe this school is for obviously high school kids. When we take breaks from school or whatever, there's a cage, and it was the smoking cage. So like we could smoke cigarettes at that school, and then we didn't get in trouble. It was like there for us to smoke, but we weren't allowed to smoke anywhere on campus unless it was in this cage on campus. Looking back on it now, I'm like, that's like so illegal. I don't know how they got away with it. I don't know if they still have the cage at that school. I'd be really surprised if they did. But yeah, we were allowed to smoke at school. And pretty much everybody did smoke cigarettes at school. That's actually where I met Klein, was like smoking in the cage at the school, like when I first started going there. But like I said, people got away with a lot of stuff there because, you know, we're troubled kids and we needed somewhere to go and get an education, and we got kicked out of all of our other schools. Kids were even doing drugs like in the classroom. Like it was really bad, you guys. This was like a really bad school. I wasn't there very long. My mom ended up taking me out. But let me get to the part where I got caught having sex. That is the story of this video. After a while of me being there, Klein and I were like messing around. We were high as fuck. Like we had been doing a lot of drugs. We were smoking in the cage, but it was like lunchtime. And the classrooms, like I don't know about like regular schools if they like lock the classrooms, but at our school they didn't lock the classrooms. And so Klein was like, hey, let's go into da 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 and like hook up. And I was like, okay. Sounds good to me. And so we ended up going into our science class, and it was unlocked, and like no one was in there. Like everybody was having lunch, and like the faculty and administration like had their own like lunch area in like a room or something on the other side of school. So like nobody was like really out and about to like, you know, tell us we couldn't have sex. So we go into the science class and we're like laughing hysterically because we think that this is the funniest thing. And this girl that was in the cage with us like didn't know what we were doing, and so she tried to come in the room with us, and we're like, oh no, like you can't come in here. We like shut the door on her. We were so high like on drugs that we didn't think to lock the inside of the door. I don't even know if you could lock the inside of the door. We didn't think about that. We weren't thinking straight, clearly. So we start like making out, and like and then he like pushes me onto the teacher's desk and like pulls my pants down, and we start like having sex on the teacher's desk in our science class. And everything's like going good, like whatever. I don't know, sometimes when you're on drugs, like you kind of have sex for a long time. So we were in there for a while, and we didn't have like bells at our school that like go off to let us know like it's time to come back in class. And we were like, again, like I said, on drugs and not thinking, and we must have been having sex for a long time because it was like time for like people to go back into class, and our teacher like opens the door, and there's like the students behind her like ready to come into like class or whatever, and we were like butt ass naked on on our teacher's desk, like full on going at it. And like they open the door and we like look because we think it's that stupid girl that was like trying to come in earlier to like come hang out with us, because I think she probably thought we were like going to class to do drugs and she wanted to do drugs with us, but we weren't. We were really going in there to have sex. So we thought it was her, so we don't like stop what we're doing, but we kind of just both look, and then we realize it's the teacher. We're like, oh shit, like oh shit. And then like the other students are like looking in, and the teacher doesn't know what to say, and the students are like laughing and they think it's hilarious. And so we just like jump off the desk real quick and like go to like throw our clothes back on, and the teacher's just like, that is just disgusting. That is disgusting. I don't know why you think that that's okay. I think the teacher like probably wouldn't have been as mad if like we were on the floor, but because like we were on her fucking desk like having sex, she was like not happy about it. We got in trouble obviously, but we didn't get expelled. Like they just sent us to like the dean or whatever, and like she like told us we were in trouble. And then after that they started having to lock the classroom doors so that people would go in there and have sex, because we decided that that would be a fun thing to do. So basically that is how I got caught having sex at school, and surprisingly didn't get kicked out, because that's the school that all the bad kids go to. So I guess they just expect us to be doing all kinds of naughty things. And yeah, anyways, they did call my mom. She wasn't surprised. She was just like, Shannon, really? My mom was so fucking annoyed with me. I was like a lost cause, you guys. I was such a bad kid. I honestly don't know how I turned out like where I'm at now. Well, I do. I talk about it in my book, but my poor mom. I don't even know how she survived raising me. But anyways, that is the story of how I got caught having sex. Let me know if you guys have any crazy similar stories. If you do, please let me know down below so I know I'm not the only crazy bitch in high school. I love you guys so much. I'm sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I hope to see you in the next video. This is basically how I would put my foundation on, with my fingers. With my fingers.